Have you ever been in a situation where all of a sudden you just got defensive, maybe aggressive or manipulative, and you wonder, where did that come from? Why did I behave that way? If you want to know why, stay tuned. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website. What we're talking about is called a shadow self. The shadow self, to me, is a non-beneficial, all the non-beneficial things about yourself. And when your shadow self wants to be in control, it will step in and try to take over in whatever situation that you happen to be in. Does that sound accurate, hon? Because that's my understanding.
That's your understanding, so it's not about...
Well, no, because, maybe I missed something with my understanding.
Well, the shadow self is a part of each individual. Each individual has a shadow self, is a point, Depending on who you talk to, they might say it's your ego, right? But the shadow self, to me, is more than an ego, because these are involuntary actions that are taking place. They become so ingrained in you that you do them without thinking. And that's why, as you mentioned in the introduction, you wonder where this comes from. Because in many cases, you might even plan it. I'm not going to behave this way. I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen, or this doesn't get to me, right? Or that no matter what happens, I will stay calm. All of a sudden something comes up and you just blew up like a volcano. And then you ask yourself, well, why did that take place? Because it's involuntary, all right?
Now, sorry to interrupt, but I have had this happen to me even recently when we've been in meetings, and I think it's because of the emotion that I'm feeling at the time when things are being said that brings through this shadow self that just all of a sudden, like this one instance I'm talking about where I become very defensive and like that, as they say, mama bear who wants to just, pounce and protect her cubs. I feel that maybe it has a lot to do with our emotions, why the shadow self comes through and tries to take over. Is that accurate?
Well, what's the easiest way to control somebody?
Through emotion.
Through emotions.
So that's right.
Now, how could Hitler be so powerful?
Because he knew how to move people's emotions.
Bingo. All right? The reason why salespeople are so good is because they touch on those things, those emotional buttons that people have.
Right.
Right? That's what they do. The ads, what do? They show people...
Television, yeah.
Exactly. They're having a good time and things like that. And if you happen to be someone, they want to sell you medication, what do? They show you the loss. Like, oh, I can't spend time with my grandkids.
Oh, back pain.
Exactly.
I can't do this now.
Right? So they know how to get to the emotions. And of course, when they do that, then the shadow self says, I told you, this is what you should do so that you're not that way. And of course, then the pride kicks in, and then you go back to the old you, as people would call it, right?
Right.
That's where your comfort zone is. And then you wonder, well, but that's not what I want to be like. I want to leave that behind. Well, that's the first thing. We have a video about that, about getting rid of the old you.
Yes.
You don't get rid of the old you, right? Because law of physics, even chemistry, tells you that the conservation of energy, right? It's neither destroyed or created. It's there. Whatever was created originally is still there. Now you can change the state of it, but you can't create it or destroy it.
Okay.
And what people are doing is they want to get rid of their old habits. And the shadow self is like a habit. It's like this big bad habit that you've had that's become, you've done it so often again that you don't think about it.
It just comes out and happens naturally.
Because, they say practice makes perfect, right?
Yes.
Well, you've practiced it so many times that it's become muscle memory. And that's really what has happened. So if you wonder, where did it come from? It came from all the practice that you put in.
So does that mean now that in order to get rid of it, I have to put in all the practice to control myself so that that doesn't emerge?
Exactly, right? Now, the good thing is, with the help of the Zen Masters, they make it easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
They give us decrees and they give us tools that we should use.
Okay.
Here's the thing though, I've seen individuals, and you've probably seen this as well, where they're given one tool and they implement that one tool and shadow self is gone,
Yep.
just like that,
Mhm.
right? While other people are given multiple tools, like a whole bunch of tools, and the shadow self just continues to be there. So how do you explain the difference?
Well-
And this for the benefit of these individuals, right? Because they might be wondering, well, why is it I'm saying my decrees and I'm doing this and I'm still falling for this bloody shadow self. So what's going on?
Yes, what is going on? So my thoughts would be that part of your shadow self has determined that nothing I try works.
Because you've tried a lot of things, right?
Right,
It's like a diet.
right.
You've tried so many of them, it doesn't take you seriously.
See, like I used to pray all the time growing up. I didn't see improvements. Sometimes I would, but most of the time everything seemed like it was always going downhill, you know, as the saying goes. So I think for me personally, that's a shadow self saying, oh yes, here I've got these decrees. Oh, I've got this now. I've got this tool. And because my husband, you know, we experiment all the time. So I've been given a lot of tools to use. But some of them just didn't seem to work. Why? Now I know. Shadow self. I've already programmed myself. All that praying I did never seemed to work. I never saw anything come of it. So I'm programmed myself to think it won't work.
But you've had a lot of positive experiences.
I know. It started working after a while.
Why do you think it started working?
Because I stayed consistent. Because I constantly implemented.
Not only that, but then,
I was determined to do it too.
well, that's the truth. Yes, you're even more determined than myself, so that is true. But I think it also goes back to the fact that, I mean, you said the rosary for how many years? Every day without missing a day?
Oh gosh, I don't know, from the time I was like 5 years old until the 30s. So,
20-something years?
yes, at
Right.
least 25 years.
Every year, every day.
Yep.
So talk about being committed to something and dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you had your doubts, you still said the rosary because the church said you should do that.
Yep, I even said a 12-year novena.
There you go. For
Yep.
12 years.
Yes.
So think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yet still, you would do things and or you would pray and many times it didn't happen. But would you talk to this day, St. Anthony, and to help you find
St.
something?
Jude, yep. St. Anthony and St. Jude always helped me.
Okay.
Instantly.
So you could see that there were some things there that actually came through. Not everything, but some
Right.
things came through. But so the shadow self, the negative part of you, was stronger than the positive part of you, because you didn't understand that you are a spiritual being.
Yes.
See, that's it. The shadow self is your physical being. That's the one that will tell you that you have to eat something now. You have to eat that sweet, right?
Yeah.
You have to eat that high calorie food or whatever that might be. Make sense?
Yes, I used to do that a lot.
But no, I'm just giving some examples, right? Or for example,
Thought you were
if-
talking about me.
no. Or for example, you might have someone that really bothers you. Not bothers and they come and they bother you, but just
Just
being
the
around
thought of them and their
exactly,
presence bothers you.
brings that negative energy, right?
Right.
So then every time you think about that person, you get upset about something.
I used to have that too.
See? Or maybe you had that experience.
Really, I think my husband's talking about me with all these examples.
And they probably think I'm talking about them too.
Is he talking about you?
Right? And also, you might have an experience, right, where you got something happen, you feel like you're unfairly treated. It
Yes.
happened a long time ago. But now, all of a sudden something happens now, 10 years later, and it brings back memories of what happened back then. So then it triggers something. That's what people call, what, like a pet peeve or something? I don't know. What's a pet peeve?
Pet peeve is just something that always irritates you every time it happens,
Uh-huh.
I think.
Why is that? Because the first time it happened,
It was a
bothered
negative
you.
experience.
Exactly. And so
Right.
now you bring it with you and you convince yourself that that's not a positive experience.
Right.
See, that's the shadow self telling you, oh, that's not good, so get upset. Whenever you have a negative feeling or negative experience, it's your shadow self trying to keep you where it believes you belong, where you're comfortable. And so then you don't grow. All right? So what you need to do is you have the tools from the Zen Masters. You use your tools. And you really have to be aware, self-aware of what's going on. So the moment you get that thought or that feeling or that experience of where you just feel, okay, this is not going to be productive, you need to walk away. If you don't think you can handle it, you walk away. And I said, what was my favorite saying a long time ago, before you and I got close? Maybe you learned this after you and I got close. If someone were there and I felt that what I needed to share with them, or let's say they asked my opinion, which people normally did, right? They'll come ask my opinion. But the moment I give my opinion, because you know me, I'm blunt about everything.
Right.
And I start to give them my opinion, and I could see on their face or the way they're reacting that they didn't want my opinion. You know, there are people that will ask your opinion, but they want confirmation from you.
Right.
Right?
They want to hear what they think is right.
That's correct.
Not what you have to say.
That's correct.
What might be the truth.
Normally what I have to say is not what they expect.
Right.
Right? And so when I start saying it, I could see it in their faces, I could feel their frequency drop, or it picks up, but not in a good way. What do? I say, I'll be right back. Then I would leave. Remember that? You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, maybe I never did that. I'll be like, excuse me, I'll be right back. And I'll just leave. And I'd come back way later when everything had de-escalated. Because why waste your time talking to somebody when you know that they're not listening?
Indeed.
The moment someone raises his or her voice, that person's not listening anymore. The moment someone cuts you off, as we say, either they're listening and they want to get your attention, right? As in the Zen Masters, you know, they might say, okay, hold it. But they do that, and then you should just be quiet, right?
Right.
Jesus says, hold it, I just stop. But someone else says, hold it when I'm trying to say something. I know that they're not listening. So what do? Excuse me, I'll be right back. You leave. You don't let your shadow self take over and you start screaming and shouting and get into an argument. Because the shadow self likes to prove that it's right.
Right.
And life is not about who's right. You know that many times, Martha,
Yes.
right? And many times we'll just step away from something and we know that what's being claimed is not correct. We know it's not accurate.
Yep.
But just to make sure that we don't create karma, and we know everything is going to get resolved for the highest good of everybody anyway, and because we know that, we step away. And then it gets resolved for the highest good of everybody. So what's the point I'm making?
The point you're making is that you can overcome these shadow self the tendencies by doing simple things as far as stepping away, being quiet, using your tools immediately, and the more you use your tools, the less it will happen as well, from my experience, for me.
Well, see, that's an interesting thing you said, because I don't know if it's the more you use your tools, the more positive results you'll see.
I don't know about positive results, but
Yeah, you didn't say that actually.
No.
Go ahead.
But I know for me that the more I use my tools, it's like I am reprogramming myself.
Yes.
And in doing so, those old tendencies from the shadow self tend to stay in the background.
Well,
They don't always come to the forefront.
No, it's not even staying in the background. Remember, your shadow self is nothing but energy as well.
Well, it's being changed then.
Exactly. Right? It's been changed. If you just put it in the background, then that's where the challenge is, because it will always come back out. When it comes back out, it comes out with a vengeance. Remember, it's been kept down. Imagine covering
I'm
a
not
pot,
keeping
right?
it down, man.
And then you're boiling water
Uh-huh.
with the cover on. What happens?
Well, as it boils, the lid starts to pop
That's
and
correct.
shake and the steam comes out.
Right. See, but if you have the cover off, then the steam is coming out the whole time, so it's not the same effect. It's not as powerful.
Right.
So what we do is we change it using the tools that we have. The challenge that a lot of people have is that what they do is when they're saying they decrease or using the tools, they work so hard in changing their situation. They're focused on the situation, and then they start to expect these changes instead of just knowing that they already happened.
Oh.
So there's a difference there. If you're expecting it, then you go like this, well, that didn't go the way I expected it to. Well, what were you expecting? See, instead of when I decree, I know that it's changing whatever needs to get changed, anything negative into something positive. I already know that. So when I decree, that's all I see. I see just light. All right? Now, do I expect something out of it? No. If I'm having a challenge, for example, I don't expect that challenge to be changed into my favor. Because I'm not decreeing for that change to happen. I'm decreeing to put positive energy into the world.
Okay.
That's it. If you're doing that, then whatever benefits you're supposed to get from it will come. But if you're decreeing because you expect certain benefits, then you're not changing that shadow self energy. What you're doing is you're kind of hiding it.
And you're trying to change the situation, which it's not really about changing the situation, it's about changing yourself.
No, it's about changing the energy. It's not even changing
About
yourself.
changing the energy.
That's what I'm saying. And what people are doing is they're trying to change themselves. Or
I
they're
see.
trying to change
The
what happened there, the
situation.
situation. If you're going to let the Ascended Masters help you, then let them do their thing.
So
They
if-
know what is supposed to happen. So what you do is you focus on the energy and making that energy positive. That's it.
Okay, so then to help get through and change the energy with this shadow self, it's just focus on the decreeing and turning all that energy into positive energy.
But-
And as that happens, I will change in the situation.
See, there you go again. You will change.
Will I?
You
No.
won't change.
But the
You don't change.
energy changes?
The energy
So does that mean that the
changes.
situation would change because I'm focused on just
See,
decreeing and changing
again,
energy?
You're doing exactly what people do.
I'm trying to
You're-
understand.
Don't try to understand. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to understand. All
Okay.
you have to do is use your tools,
Uh-huh.
knowing that by using your tools, the Ascended Masters are helping you to take care of that situation. And the way that happens is any negative energy that's around you and that's affecting you will be turned into positive energy. That's it. How does it happen? I don't care, because Jesus is taking care of it. Right?
Okay.
Saint Germain is taking care of it. Moses is taking care of it. I don't have to know about how it happens. But what you guys are doing is, and I put you in there because you're doing exactly that,
Uh-huh.
you guys are trying to make it a logical thing. So if I do this with this energy, then this happens. You're not doing anything. It's the angels and the Ascended Masters that are doing it. All you're doing is you're using your tools to provide the energy to them for them to help you with whatever it is you need help with. Remember what I said? With whatever it is you need help with.
Okay.
I didn't say, well, right now you need help with your toe. You stubbed your toe. You need help with that. So now you're decreeing and saying, oh, Mother Mary, thank you for taking care of my toe. How do you know it's the most important thing right now? And
Okay.
then you wake up tomorrow, your toe still hurts. Mother Mary did not take care of my toe. She didn't, but guess what? She took care of a relationship with your grandmother you didn't get along with. Did you pay attention to that? No. You know
Got
why?
it.
Because you're focused on your toe. So then you miss the big thing that is happening in your life that's a big positive because you're focused on this little thing that you think is the biggest thing in the world.
Okay.
Make sense? Mm-hmm. And that's
So-
what people do. And so then the shadow self kicks in. This doesn't work. And then you're convinced it doesn't work because your toe still hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, you're going to your grandma, you guys are going to the movies together, you're sewing and cooking together, but your toe still hurts. So decrees don't work. God doesn't love you because God is allowing you to be in pain with your big toe.
Okay. So
But-
just use the tools that we're given, and the most important things that have to be taken care of will just naturally be taken care of, and just know that everything will be fine.
Most important things based on the spiritual laws, not
Right.
what you believe.
Not my thoughts of what
Exactly.
is most important, but what God, the angels,
Your
everyone
karmic
else
record.
sees as
Right.
being the most important.
Right. It's not what they see. It's what they see in your karmic. It's what your karmic record shows. It's not like the Ascended Masters or Jesus goes like this. Well, it's more important for her to mend a relationship with her grandmother than that little stub on her toe. No, they look in your Akashic record and say, you know, based on the most beneficial thing for her right now, we need to help her mend this relationship with her grandmother. We can take care of the toe afterwards. Right? So it's not like they're making a decision about your life without your input. You created the Akashic record. So they're just looking at that gives them a guideline as to what should be done next.
And by using the tools, I'm giving more energy for them to be able to use to
Bingo.
help me.
Right, because they're not allowed to just go and do it like that. You have to provide them something. So they look into your energy bank, right? Your dharma. You have enough dharma there, they're going to help you.
Okay.
But again, the thing is this, the reason why we keep triggering this shadow self is because we have certain expectations. All right? Oh, well, my leg hurts, right? I hurt my leg. Oh, gee, I talked to Saint Germain yesterday to help me with my leg. Why is it hurting so much? And then I wake up in the morning and my leg still hurts. But my wonderful, beautiful wife, you come and you hug me and you kiss me and I'm running away and you're chasing me and we're having fun with that, right? And I'm like, Saint Germain didn't heal my leg. But here's my wife. She's a very loving wife, showing me how much she loves me. But guess what? Because that's not what I expected to get this morning. I expected a leg that's healed. That doesn't mean anything. So the shadow self tells me, Saint Germain doesn't care about you. Look at what happened. He didn't even heal your leg. He did nothing to help you. And because I'm focused on the leg, not the other stuff, I believe it. And I fall for the trap. Get it? So all of a sudden you come now, which you like to do, and then you put your elbow on my thigh, and now it hurts exactly where it was injured. Like, why do you do that? Then I start screaming at you, right? Shadow self kicked in. And I'm wondering why I did that. Then I turn and say, I'm so sorry, honey, I don't know why I did that. Yes, I do know, because I expected it to be healed. I expected something to go my way, and it did not.
Instead of just letting God do his thing.
Exactly. So just saying, you know what? Okay, it's not time for it to get healed yet. So what did Saint Germain do for me yesterday? Oh, my wife. I had to form this bond with my wife. Look at what happened. See, there's always something positive going on. But
You
then,
just have to look.
we don't have to look that hard. What we do is we look for the negative things because that's what we're used to.
Right.
And we look for because the shadow self tells you involuntary action again. You don't realize you're doing it, but you're actually doing it. We look for the negative stuff, and then we get ourselves depressed with it. We get all upset, all mad, all depressed. I can't believe I was so dumb. How could I do that? Why did I let that happen? That's your shadow self speaking. That's when you slow down, right? Take a break and tell your shadow self, excuse me, I'll be right back. We won't say the other thing, we don't put that on video, that we say in our training, right? That our special line there. But that's pretty much it. Take a hike, right? Listen, I don't need you right now. I don't need you at all. And that's when you say a decree. But when you say, it's focusing on the best thing for you. Know that what you're about to experience is the best thing for your highest good. You just don't know what it is.
Right.
And then look for it. And it will always be good. So if you're always looking for the good, then you won't be depressed. You won't be argumentative, because you won't try to prove that you're always right. You know, you won't be defensive, because you know that you're being taken care of. And if someone thinks they're attacking you, if you think someone's attacking you, right, it's because you're seeing it that way. Got it?
Yes.
And then turn into a positive. Why is this person screaming at me? Something happened with them. Wait till they calm down, and then you calmly talk to them and say, what's going on? What happened? Why is it you're taking this approach? See? That's how that works.
Okay. Well, thank you for explaining that. That helped me understand more. I hope it's helped you too. If you have any questions, make sure you let us know.